Hello, beautifuls. Good morning, or I think it may be afternoon, I'm not sure. So, today's topic, I want to talk about anger. So, a lot of us can be angry, we can be agitated, headache, frustrated, unforgiveness, but those are all loopholes for the enemy to come into your brain, which then goes into your heart and then your body, which is your spirit. So it's all a domino effect. So we could take example, Cain and Abel. Cain being the oldest brother, Abel being the youngest. Now, if you didn't know, Cain did kill his younger brother Abel because of jealousy and comparison and that unforgiveness. So that's why God called us to forgive. And I want to speak on forgiveness for sure, because I think and I believe that's something everybody struggle with, which is something we have to let go of. It's not easy, especially if that person hurt you the most. But it's so crazy. You can see people being out here. You can see people out here being the most loyal to the people that hurt them the most. But when it's loyal people in their face, they run. Because people are scared of the real thing. And then some people say it's too good to be true. But I mean, honestly, at that point, you attract what you are. So, why do you keep attracting that kind of person to hurt you or use you? Something is not right in here. You need to evaluate yourself. Maybe that's just a trait that your father once had coming up, and you don't realize it because you and your dad don't hang out, but that could be one of the reasons why you gravitate towards that, and then the enemy used that to bring you down. Because John 10:10, the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. The only reason we all still here is because God giving us a chance to walk out this life with Him. That's literally why all of us is here. It's not no science. It's not genetics. It's God. That's why, you could be any age and die. Like, it's God and His timing. And it could be what that person is. And we can say, why do bad things happen to good people? But are they really good? And also, too, as a Christian, we build our wealth in heaven. That's the main thing. It's not on earth. A part of it is on earth, generational wealth, but our riches goes to heaven. So whether you live or die, you're good because you're going to heaven. But say, some people don't even know where they're going after life, and some people are afraid to die, and it's just like, that's a whole nother thing with God. But back to anger. So unforgiveness, say someone says something to you, you try to be nice to them, they're angry at you, they said something, they cuss you out, they did something, you like, I'm not finna fool with them again, right? God would be like, you back up a little bit, but then I'm gonna have you talk to this person. It's, that saying, killing them with kindness, that goes such a far away, because the fruits of the spirit is long-suffering, patience, no counts of wrongdoing, which a lot of us do. So when you argue with somebody, be like, but you did this, or you such and such, such and such, you're not supposed to do any of that. You know why? Do you know why? Because once you repent to God, His slate is clean. See, Satan's going to bring a whole list of everything you did and try to use it against you. But God is over there like, I don't see that. I don't see that. Satan's like, what would you mean? God like, I don't see that, because they're forgiven on my end. And it's like, if God can forgive you, why do you feel like you can't forgive anybody else? So I have And back to unforgiveness. When you hold on to anger and unforgiveness, because I feel like that's like a root of anger in a whole, that unforgiveness, it could cause you to think some crazy stuff. Like, say you thinking about like hurting somebody to a full extent, like you want them to feel your pain, or some people even kill people. I mean, look at the world. Anger goes a long way, and you know what makes it worse is when you meditate on it, and that's what makes it build up. Cause Satan just throwing those thoughts in your head, like, man, I should do this, I should do that, and then he bringing people in to add fuel to that, cause he already added a thought in you, and he see your actions betraying it, so he's gonna throw in people to tell you, oh yeah, you should do this to this person, this, that, and third. Like, watch out who you talk to. Real talk. Watch out who you talk to. And you the next thing you know, you do something you thought you'll never do. Then who knows, your life may be gone. You may be dead or in jail, or you just lost out on life. But see, with God, what he says is he's your vindicator. So knowing somebody went against you, especially if you talk about God, that's a whole nother thing. But knowing that they went against you, he's gonna vindicate you. He like, just keep your eye on me, cause people gonna talk. That's just the world we in. You know, First Amendment, freedom of speech. Like, they're gonna talk, but you can't hold on to that unforgiveness. You really can't, because you're gonna encounter rejection and loss and pain and everything. That's just unfortunately this life. But it's how is your heart posture through all of it? And can you really say you forgive the person and not talk to them again? Now, on some cases, say somebody really hurt you and they died and you have to forgive them, that's a whole nother thing. But say if they was here right now and they was to hit up your phone and it was someone who did you the dirtiest, would you sit there and tell them, like, I forgive you? Or would you even do it face to face? I think it's so easier to say we forgive somebody when we got to talk to them ever again. But when we see them, will we actually tell them, like, I forgive you? Yeah, you might have touched me, but I forgive you. Yeah, you might have hit me, yeah, I forgive you. Yeah, you try to kill me, but I forgive you. Like, are we Christ-like enough to say that? That's a whole nother love. That's a Dobby love. A lot of people don't know what Dobby love is because they don't know God. That's his love. That's what love's about. Loving even when it hurts. Loving even when it gets on your nerves. But my thing is, why can't we give love to the right people that's trying to help? Don't be so quick to cut someone off. Hear them out. Whether you agree with them or not, you never know how that advice may come into play. For instance, if someone's coming to you trying to tell you about God, don't just shun them up. Like, y'all listen to everything else. Don't do that. Like, listen. Y'all know it's way more to it than just that. Like, listen. Sowing some seeds and watering them, okay? God got his people, but we have to work on forgiveness. But you can only do it with Christ. You can only do anything with Christ. And you can possibly hear me say that in every video, but it's the God darn truth. He's the only one that ever forgiven anybody. Look at the world. He died. Don't you know they spit on him? They whooped him. They put thorns or needles around his head. They made him drink sour wine. They cursed him. Don't you know, after Judas betrayed Jesus, Peter did betray him, and he still forgave him, Peter, because he knew he had an assignment on his life. No, it's not easy. Nothing in life is easy. But if God can do it, then we should be able to too. because he's right there to help us. It's a challenge every day, as everything is, but we have to be better because we have to work on ourselves inside and out, not just the outside, but inside. So if you see somebody that you feel like you haven't spoke to because they wronged you or did this and that and third, just try saying hi to them. You know, and even if it bothers you, just say hi, because that's the best thing you can do. Say hi. It's a 2-letter word, y'all. Hi. Or hey. That's 3, okay? So I want to read a couple verses on anger, right? So we got Psalms 37:8 to let me see where I stop at. So 8, refrain from anger and forsake wrath. So if you have anger, you're gonna have wrath, because when Cain killed Abel, he was so angry. And that's another thing. When you angry, you're not able to hear God speech, and that anger clouds your judgment. Okay, so he was like, God was like, where is Abel? Cain like, how am I supposed to know such a, like, am I my brother's keeper? Like, he was disobedient. He was disobedient to God. Like, But back to this: refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the evildoers shall be cut off. Not say shall be cut off. But those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. So I know you got the question of, so if that's the case, why people still out here doing it? Just because they're doing it don't mean they're not gonna get it back. People so quick to holler karma, which is reaping what you're sowing. Okay, put it back in God's context and definition. Reaping what you're sowing. It's up in, I think, Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. It's a time and it's a season. It's a time to be born. It's a time to die. And basically, all the way to Ecclesiastes, you know, people get blessed whether they in the world or out the world. And then out the world meaning Christians. But the thing is, again, you build your wealth in heaven when you're a Christian. When you in the world and you getting blessed, you building that giant in hell. Now, God could bless you sometimes because he has an appointed time. He's going to come to you and call on you to be a part of his kingdom. But that's only if you say yes and keep going. You can't just say yes one year and the next year you're gone. Again, it's not easy, but you have to do it. Because you know you're going to die one day. And you need to know, like, you can be good with God for sure. But yeah, I mean, you might see these people out here, like, these celebrities doing their thing. But that's another thing. They're going to show you what they want to show y'all. These people had the hardest time. I mean, look at Black China. She came to Christ now. Of course, God is still working on everybody. But, I mean, it's a start. You know, it's a start. But even in her testimony, she said she was having trouble with money. Now, God gonna make you realize money ain't the problem. It ain't the issue. He's gonna draw you away from that because people is idolizing money. What he said, people would be idols of themselves. I forget the freaking verse. I would think of it later, but basically people gonna forsake God's law and worry about themselves. Oh, be lovers of themselves. And just everything of the world. So the more you read the Bible, the more you realize, like, yeah. And that's why people like the end days are here. They're coming because the more and more you read the Bible, you mean this, and you read the signs of what's to come at the end, and you see it play out. It's like, yeah, like we didn't really have a COVID thing like that in a long time. I think something close to that was like the Black Plague, and what was that, like the 1800s, something like that? I'm not sure, but and then, like, you know, they hit the whole world too. Like, we had little stuff like the Zika virus and all that, but so different things. Like, like the seasons are changing, the times are changing, like yeah. And then But it's another verse. Oh, so just know, just because you're in the world, you getting blessed, don't mean you gonna have what you have. Don't mean you're not gonna get what you have coming to you. That's why you gotta make sure you good with God, and don't worry about the next person, cause they might look like they on top now, but they will hit rock bottom. That's a lot of celebrities out here. Even if they look like they got the money, one day you gonna see on the news and something gonna happen. And I'm not wishing bad on them, but you're gonna see like, oh yeah. And the only difference is some is able to get up, some is gonna just stay down. Even if they get up financially, y'all, you don't know how their mind is. Their heart corrupt. You can still get up and not be up. So it's another verse. It's in Ephesians 4. Yeah. Dang. Yeah, Ephesians 4. Hold on, y'all. Let me turn to it. I don't freaking went past it. No, it's not here, so y'all bear with me. OMG. Where'd it go? Hold on, y'all. I know I'm almost freaking there. Here we go. Okay. Ephesians 4 through 26 through 31. All right. Where the heck? 26. Okay. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and give no opportunity to the devil. Let the thief no longer steal, but rather let him labor, doing honest work with his own hands, so that he may have something to share with anyone in need. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such is good for building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. And do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. So grace is treating the person as they don't deserve. So we are meant to see people as how God sees them. That's the goal. So you can do the dirtiest thing. Yes, it's going to hurt, but we are meant to see that person like Christ seen them, because we realize, and once you get with God more, you will see, and he will tell you, that's not necessarily the person. It's the spirit in the person. See, we are vessels of this world. We either going to be used by God or by Satan. Now, you might think you living your life for you, but no. If you really was to think, you'll see how you had miracles, and you realize how that was God coming in, even in your most sinful times. And you could see how Satan was really trying to intrude. And then just basically talked on everything else I said, like, let the thief no longer steal, but rather let him labor, doing honest work in his own hands, so that he may have something to share in anyone in need. And that unforgiveness, that could make you not even want to trust other people, or even want to help other people. And we on this planet to help. And you need trust. It's crazy that sound. You need trust, because God is going to send you divine connections that you're going to have to trust. But he's not going to trust you until you're able to trust him, so then you can trust his people. Because you're not finna sit here and hurt his people. You're not finna do that. again, reaping what you sow. Like, so it may seem so small, but unforgiveness fluster, not just in the physical world, but in the spirit. Because you can hold up your blessings, and you don't know how God is going to use someone to bless you. It could be the same very person that did the shadiest thing to you that he would use to bless you abundantly. You'd be like, dang, all these years I was holding this grudge. Oh man, I was feeling a kind of way. And it's like, no, like, let it go. It's hard, but let it go. And pray on the person's heart. Pray that God touch their heart, because he got a way of touching people's heart, whether you realize it or not, whether you believe it or not. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but he will touch their heart. Just pray on them, and over time you will see a change. But try to be less angry, and don't react in your anger. Do not react in your anger. If somebody say something to you, don't just straight up try to snap. Just take a few breaths. Even if you have a chance to just step back, and just be like, hey, God bless you, I love you, or you have a good day, or something. People react in their anger. They do temporary actions on permanent outcomes, meaning they could mess up something permanent that was good because they reacted off of temporary feelings. And that's why in the other video I was talking about feelings and emotions with adulting, so you can go back and watch that one. But yeah, the enemy has his way to get in, but make sure you're forgiving someone. And if you have anybody you don't forgive and God send them your way, even if they just right there and you walk past them, just be like, hey y'all, hey, make it direct. Like, do some good today. It ain't just about donating or anything. Anybody can donate. Anybody can give to the poor. It's what you gonna do. Are you gonna forgive? Are you gonna be slow to anger? Are you gonna be slow to speak and quick to listen? Are you gonna still keep counting wrongdoing against everybody? That's the things we have to work on. Being Christ-like in this world full of sin. So thank you. I'll see y'all in my next video. Y'all have a good one. And enjoy the sun if it's sunny outside. But yeah, bye.